Let's be honest, if Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, somehow got his hands on a modern credit card, he wouldn't be racking up points on Amazon Prime Day. He'd likely perform some solemn ritual, thank it for its service, and then melt it down into a tiny, unbuyable statue of self-control. This, after all, was a man who commanded the most sprawling empire the world had ever seen, yet deliberately chose to sleep on a hard pallet, ate food a soldier would find unremarkable, and etched into his private journal the daily reminder that everything, power, glory, and especially wealth, is just smoke in the wind. Now, for a fun little thought experiment, let's drop this philosopher king into the fluorescent-lit chaos of a 21st century shopping mall. Imagine him, stone-faced in his toga, surrounded by the siren song of buy now, pay later, targeted ads flashing on screens that know his deepest insecurities, and the endless, shimmering promise of just one more little dopamine hit. He wouldn't be tempted. Expensive? A world where drowning in personal debt is a rite of passage, and where the ancient virtue of discipline is treated like a quaint, outdated relic. And yet, 2 millennia ago, one of the most powerful men in history was privately journaling his way through a mental minefield, creating a guide for staying calm, rational, and anchored while his own world crumbled around him. He wasn't doing it for likes, subscribers, or a book deal. He was writing for his very survival. That journal became Meditations, and hidden within its ancient pages is a financial philosophy so radical, so counterintuitive, it might just be the only thing that can save us from ourselves. Born in 121 AD into a world of staggering privilege, Marcus Aurelius hit the genetic and social lottery. He was groomed for power from birth, with access to the finest tutors, a bottomless inheritance, and a guaranteed seat on the imperial throne. He had every opportunity to become a monstrous tyrant, a Roman Caligula with a bigger budget. Instead, he became the philosopher king, heavily influenced by the Stoics, a school of thought practically obsessed with virtue, reason, and emotional resilience. Marcus embarked on a lifelong training program to master his own mind. He taught himself to anticipate hardship, to gracefully accept loss, and to detach his well-being from the grand illusion of control. And his reign was no walk in the park. This wasn't a man philosophizing from a marble palace while others did the dirty work. He stared down the devastating Antonine Plague, which wiped out millions. He spent over a decade on the brutal Danube frontier, fighting off Germanic tribes in grueling wars. He dealt with betrayal from his closest generals and navigated crippling economic decay. Through it all, his writing remains uncannily steady, a testament to a mind that refused to be shaken. His ultimate goal wasn't comfort, it was sovereignty over his own soul. But here's the part nobody wants to talk about when they post a Stoic quote on Instagram. We've turned this profound philosophy of resilience into a self-help aisle cliché. We cherry-pick the feel-good lines about embracing obstacles while completely ignoring the terrifying economic machine Marcus was desperately trying to build a fortress against. And that machine, my friends, has spent the last 2,000 years evolving into a monster. Today's system isn't just chaotic. It's a meticulously engineered labyrinth designed to keep you financially precarious and psychologically off balance. Personal debt in the U.S. has ballooned to unimaginable highs. Credit card interest rates have sailed past 20%, turning a small purchase into a long-term financial parasite. And every single digital platform you touch, from your social media feed to your news app, is a sophisticated weapon of mass distraction, designed by behavioral psychologists to trigger envy, comparison, and impulsive spending. The result is a society that has never looked richer on the outside, but is rotting from the inside out. We have a generation drowning in anxiety, less financially stable than their parents, and more susceptible to manipulation than any before. We've built a financial system that no longer thrives on creating genuine value, but on mining and monetizing your emotional instability. It's a casino where the house doesn't just have an edge. It designed your brain to want to keep betting. This is precisely where Stoicism transforms from a historical curiosity into a revolutionary act. It's not about bottling up your emotions like some kind of sad, spiritual robot. It's about refusing to be governed by them, especially when your money is on the line. The Stoics taught a simple but world-altering truth. While you cannot control the storm, the market, or the plague, you can, and you must, control your response. Marcus reminded himself daily that death, poverty, and loss were not aberrations. They were part of the natural order of things. He understood that our insatiable desire for more was the very source of our suffering, and that self-control was the non-negotiable price of freedom. These weren't just nice ideas. They were his armor. Imagine, for a second, applying that same armor to your financial life. Imagine approaching your bank account the way Marcus approached absolute power, with caution, humility, and a healthy dose of suspicion. Imagine no longer feeling the burning need to chase status symbols that only impress people you don't even like. Imagine watching the stock market plummet and feeling nothing. Not panic, not dread, just a calm acceptance of volatility. Imagine ignoring the relentless pressure to upgrade, to consume, to expand. Imagine the profound liberation of realizing that financial freedom doesn't come from having more, but from needing less. This mindset isn't just minimalist chic, it's an act of economic heresy. It's a direct threat to the very foundations of the modern economy. Because if a critical mass of people suddenly stopped over-consuming, stopped going into debt for fleeting pleasures, and decided they had enough, the entire system would shudder. Our economy is a beast that feeds on credit, consumption, and the constant manufactured expansion of your desires. The very concept of enough is a threat to its existence. Restraint is quite simply unprofitable. And yet, it was the cornerstone of Marcus's life. He saw luxury not as a prize to be won, but as a test of his character. He believed that unchecked comfort made men soft, and that entitlement was a cancer of the soul. For him, the only wealth that mattered was the kind no one could ever take away from you. So the game is rigged. The deck is stacked against you, and the casino is designed to drain you. What now? Do we just throw our hands up and accept our fate as debt-servicing consumers? This is where your true power lies, and it has nothing to do with becoming a financial wizard. It's about achieving something far more valuable. Clarity. You don't need another budgeting app, another side hustle, or another finance bro screaming about crypto from his rented jet. You need to ask the questions the system is designed to make you ignore. What do you actually need to live a good life? What are you so terrified of losing, and why does it have such a hold on you? What dream are you chasing, and is it even yours, or was it implanted in your head by an algorithm? Most people will go their entire lives without asking these questions. They will simply play the game they were handed, and the system loves them for it. But you're not most people. You're here because you feel it in your gut, that the numbers don't add up, that something is fundamentally broken. The antidote, then, isn't more information. It's ancient wisdom, practiced daily. So when the markets panic, breathe. When prices rise, simplify. When your social media feed screams at you to buy, to want, to envy, decline. And when your own fear tells you to make a rash decision, don't. In the end, Marcus Aurelius never held a piece of plastic that promised him the world. But he knew, deep in his bones, the true cost of being owned by your desires, and he savored the infinite reward of mastering them. That is real wealth. That is real freedom. And that is how you survive the chaos, whether it's in ancient Rome or in the palm of your hand.